tonight's Clickcast. Get comfortable, kick off your shoes. Our broadcast journey, we're here to amuse. Watch this week's our broadcast delight. Dive into discussions, photography insight. Welcome tonight's Clickcast. Welcome tonight's
Clickcast, guys. Merry Christmas. It's the Christmas special. We're going to put on a video pretty much us in Edinburgh and showing you some clips, of course, of the past few months we've been doing this channel. And also, even though this is the last video of the year, it's also the last video I'll ever do with Clickcast as I'm moving on. Clickcast itself is finished, although the guys who actually are running the channel with me will be moving on with their own channel, and this will be called Lens Lounge. So please give these guys a like if you haven't seen the content on this video before. I'm going to put that up there now. And before I go, guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning into Clickcast, and thank you for subscribing and giving us a support. And also when I started, giving me the support as well. And thank you to all the guests that came on the show as well. I really appreciate you guys helping me. I am not a YouTuber. I've just started it. I've just started my own channel back in March this year. So this is all new to me. The guys who actually do this are really good. They're very good at talking, and they can probably carry it forward more than myself. So I'm sure Gladys and Brian will take this to the next level. And I wish them every success and support with that as well. So guys, enough about me waffling. I'm just going to put you over to Clickcast, to Brian and Gladys now. Enjoy, and it's been a real pleasure knowing you all. Take care. Merry Christmas. Sorry.
Welcome to
Clickcast from Castle Street in Edinburgh with a castle in the background.
And a bit of background music.
So guys, we're just going to go into this pub now, get some drink. Might be some time.
The Rose Crown.
The Rose Crown.
In Rose Street,
In
Edinburgh.
Rose Street.
In Rose Street.
Hi everyone, we're doing a special Christmas special. I want to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers.
We're going to be introducing a few bunnies for our Christmas special, interviews that we've done previously, and
Yep, and we've got something a bit different. We've had a company reach out to us called K&F Concept, and in the products they're very, very generously giving us a 17% discount for those of you watching the channel, and more details will be released later.
Oh no, moment of the week. Oh no.
Hi there, welcome to another Kit Kat. Hi, welcome to another Clickcast. And then obviously you're talking about 6 years ago, your journey from YouTube, and Steve, you rightly said about the connection of conversing in regards to of course volunteering in the Scottish Highlands. Sorry, my worms are all mixed up just now. Okay. Restoring the Caledonian Forest that you were talking about in your very first video, and of course the conversation. Yeah. You know what?
I can't even say it now.
Presenter, and I can't even say it. Conversation. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have to put something in that there and edit that voice out. That's been a highlight of the night.
That in, it's fine.
It's for charity, of course, and it was for ICE. Is it not ICE? It's Trees for Life. I've got here, for Scotland in regards to tourism kind of videos, and obviously the I'm going to try this again. Stevie, help me out here.
Conservation.
The converse. I was actually saying that okay before I actually done this tonight. And guys, you know what? I'm just going to keep that in actually. That's that. You will hear a voice at any minute. Depends how quick my processor is. Mm-hmm. recording. I'm here with my family. Say something, you Raj. I said I'm here with my family.
Oh no, moment of the week. Oh no.
We're in a bar in Edinburgh and it's Christmas and we found a table. That's great because everywhere else is packed and you can't find it anywhere. So this is great. We've found a nice kind of space where the music's very loud. And if you can hear me, yeah, if you made it this long into the video, give you a free gift. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to actually put some clips up from the last, started this back in October. Actually, it was actually August we started this. So we're going to put some clips up of all the guys we've spoken to, past and present. Seen you. And Gladys, can you introduce yourself, if you know, just to tell more people what you do as a photographer, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Okay, my name's Gladys and I do street photography, and I basically take pictures of Edinburgh, people, buildings, city life generally, just the way life is in Edinburgh.
At all, not the majority, but then again, what is an influencer? An influencer is when you see somebody who, it might be somebody with a mobile phone, it might be somebody that does something with a background, you know, that they might have that looks really natural. But you take bits and pieces, and I don't take anybody. I don't want to be a fanboy. I don't want to be a person that sees something, because then it's not from the heart. It's not from you. It's somebody else's style.
Stephen, yourself, what have you been up to? Or should I say what you've been up to tonight or this afternoon?
Tonight I've just been like in my sweatpants gaming.
Sorry?
Talking. I've been in my sweatpants gaming, like on my PC.
You evidence of this? That's good. And I was just going to say there, and you touched, just to touch on the point you made about you're taking a photograph of single people, and you know, one of the things you mentioned is about being isolated. That, you know, that you can feel the emotion of that when you mentioned that. I certainly felt that way, and you know, I can relate to what you mentioned there, and that's what I liked about your photographs and what you've said about people do feel that way when they look at things like, you know, a single lone figure in the distance walking in the street and it's dark or whatever. You do get that sense of person feels ostracized or alone, or we do all have these feelings, of course, when we're taking pictures, and it kind of your feelings will, you know, make the image as well, as opposed to just you actually setting up your composition and doing other things. That's a very good point you mentioned. And just on that fact there itself, do you feel that photography is good for people's, you know, mental health and their well-being? What do you think of that? Do you think it goes further on that, or?
Well, I think because I know like lots of people do take photos and lots of people have an interest in photography.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you look at an image and you can get all these different feelings and emotions when you look at it. And I feel that because I've been doing photography for a long time and since I was a young age, I think it has helped with my mental health.
Good.
I
Good.
think this is something that has really helped me just to show people who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And it's really helped me just to show people that I have something that I'm passionate about and I want to share it.
That's really good. And I was quite impressed with the fact that you've photographed for the Joe, you know, national thing. That's pretty impressive. Actually, it's quite a big film.
Yeah, I mean that was literally today. So I did that a year ago. So I've been dying to say something, but I signed an NDA and couldn't say anything. Me and a fellow photographer who I shoot with quite often, Bird Ninja, Jamie. So yeah, it's been great to actually be able to say something about it. But
do you go out with other people, or do you just go out on your own?
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, there's a few of us who have been away quite a few times. Bird Ninja, Macro Barry Morey, Paul's Natural World, Luke Chambers, Jason Osborne, and Martin Macro. We're the ones that meet up mostly. So we're down to Minsmere, Dorset. I don't know where we're going next year, potentially going to take it abroad for the sort of annual meet up. But I have met people from America, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, all over. We're finally getting to meet a guy who makes everyone's macro photos look good. Cygnus Tech, Brendan, who makes the diffuser that most of us use. So finally get to meet him in March on the Sumatra trip. Spoke to him from practically day one. One of the main guys in the macro community. Good friend.
That's lovely. That's pretty nice.
It is good to get like a community in photography when it comes to that.
Like, do you shoot an aperture or manual mode when you go out shooting? And what kind of f-stops do you try? Different types of aperture modes, like different f-stops as well? No.
I normally shoot in manual because I like the challenge of shooting in manual. And then in terms of f-stops with the shadows, I'm normally sort of 5.6 sort of f-stop, and then but with the Sigma 85mm I use, it's got a really shallow depth of field, so I like to try and get the 1.2 aperture on and get a really nice bokeh and depth there. So, but again, going back to what I was saying, once I'm out, I really try and set my sort of settings for the day, and then sort of stick to those parameters while I'm out for the hour or a couple of hours. So once they're set, I try not think about it because I feel that gets in my way too much of what I'm trying to shoot.
And when you go out, how do you do you do street portraits at all? Do you approach people and ask for their portraits, or is it just generally candid?
So it's all been candid so far. I think that's generally the next step of where I'd like to take things. I want to. I mentioned a couple of ideas that I've got I'm working on, and one of those is trying to talk to the people a little bit more. So when I do see something interesting or someone interesting, try and talk to them and get a little bit more about their story. Whether I share that story or not, I think's actually not important. But for me, I think the picture then becomes more important to me. I think if I can get a sense of who that person is as well as just capture their
And what inspires you as well?
Pardon?
What inspires you?
I mean, again, I think there's some own ambition there of making films and short films. So not maybe sort of some like documentary style of what I'm doing, but just short films in general. And that's what kicked off the whole inspiration. And really my inspiration stems from just the mundane and the everyday, because I think there's little stories and the really boring moments that are happening, and trying to capture that interestingly and get people to think, oh, I've done that before, or I've stood in that place before, or even question where the shot is even taken.
Tonight I'm going to introduce to Abby, who is a mobile phone macro photographer, and I'm just going to leave him to tell you his story, where he comes from, and what else he wants to say in the way of how he likes his macro photography. Abby, take it away.
Right. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Paul, for this opportunity for the interview. So I will start from the beginning. So since I was a kid, I was always interested in insects and flowers. So I never had this idea in my mind that I can capture them, I can shoot them, make videos, photos, the way I like it. But as I grew up, I think more than DSLR, I always loved mobile photography. The reason is it is more mobile, more portable, easy to carry, not much to carry with you. And I have always been a kind of a guy who is more into mobile technology. I always used to have the best of the best phones. I would save money from whatever possible to have the best phone, which has the best camera. So I've been using Pixels. I've been using the best of Samsung. And as of now, I'm using Samsung S23 Ultra. So I also had a DSLR, but in terms of macro, I feel that the gears were not that affordable for me at that point in time, because it was just a hobby and I never took it seriously because I never explored it much. Now, it was back in India when I started doing this, and it was all during COVID. And we were not going to office, we're sitting at home, more time outside in the nature, not many people outside, so the nature kind of grew more on us. So I started spending more time outside, and I started capturing, and then I realized that this is really good, and I find it really interesting. So I started doing macro there, but I couldn't manage much time because we were also life was happening at the same time. So my wife wanted to pursue her Masters of Research degree, and she got a nice opportunity at Glasgow Caledonian University. So we decided to move. And once I moved in Scotland, it was all very cold and chilling. You can imagine for a person like from my perspective or my point of view, I come from a country where the temperature goes up like 45 degrees, and the and the winters are like maximum like 9 degrees or 10 degrees. Now, from my perspective, it was like kind of chilling. And then I realized that, okay, I'm not going to find much here because it is so cold. How insects are going to survive in this kind of climate? And then summer happened, and I started exploring. Before I came here, I started looking for different Instagram profiles who are into macro photography and who are in Scotland. And I found Stephen, your profile. I found We Met Beasties, and I was blown away with the kind of content which I found. I also found Karen Anderson, who is also doing a lot of macro as well as some other sorts of photography. So I knew that there is content out there. There are subjects out there, but I was not sure. And also I had very limited options because I'm with a family, and I couldn't go out much because I have a daughter who is just 2.5, and my wife is also busy in studies and her assignments and stuff. So I'll have to make sure that everything is taken care in terms of my household as well as my job. So I was not sure that if I would be able to manage time and things like that. But then here we are. So you have seen my pictures and my profile. I've taken multiple photos, and I thoroughly loved it.
And in the photography community as well, lots of people recognise the name, and I'll say this. This photographer, of course, has taken us from seascapes, landscapes, and from now getting us to connect with nature and express ourselves through the art of photography. So, of course, this is a lovely lady. This is a lovely, talented lady and photographer, and her name's Kim Grant. And it's so great to get Kim on the show. It really is. So, of course, good evening, Kim, and it's great to finally meet you as well. I just want to say that. I hope it's not raining too much, of course, where you are in the northeast of Scotland, as it is here in Edinburgh. We've had it really bad. And, of course, I just want to really just kind of ask you is, how did this journey in photography start? And I know this is a question you've probably been asked lots of times, but just, how did it start from you, as in from pretty much from your childhood upwards?
Yeah, it's always nice to go back to the beginning of these things. I think it's what I do on my podcast as well. It gives us a sense of who the photographer is. So I began photography when I was 16 years old. I would say I was probably quite a creative child, but I never really found a creative outlet properly until I was 16.
Yeah.
And really what got me into photography was, like, I would go down to my local beach. I was very fortunate to live by the coast when I was growing up. And I'd go down many times in the week, and I'd watch the sunset. It was a massive emotional release for me. At the time, I was in a very dark place, and watching the sunset was one of the only things I think that kept me going and gave me some sort of release and some sort of connection. And one day when I was watching the sunset, it dawned on me that every sunset is different, and that I really wanted the opportunity to connect with it further. And that's when I got my first point and shoot camera. I think it was either for Christmas or a birthday, and began photographing these sunsets. Absolutely loved it. And within a few months, I got my first DSLR, and yeah, it's grown and evolved in so many ways ever since.
Guys, I'm just going to run out again. No, just a few things there, because we'll try to keep this video about 35 to 45 minutes. Yeah.
You're chasing that,
Sorry? Yeah, probably. But there's a lot of editing as well, so like ums and ahs get taken out. So I
Can
try
you
to
do
clean up all of
part
it.
1 and part 2, Paul?
Sorry?
Can you do part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, part 1.
Make it a trilogy.
We'll do a third one. Yeah, this will be the trilogy. Yeah, there'll be our best off as well, with Stevie's best bits, we'll call it. So what I'm going to do is just going to the next part. I'm going to put a couple of images of Brian up.
He had a video just dancing when we early on today.
No, I didn't want that because
He was dancing. Yeah, Brian, before you came on, he was getting all excited.
Your uncle and
You're
your
coming on.
granddad.
And he started to dance.
Your uncle
He's
and your
going,
granddad.
Brian's coming on. Brian's coming on. I'm going to do a dance.
You don't want to see that.
Okay. So that's in the Christmas special. Don't worry. Right, I'm going to close this just now, guys. And yeah.
So, just a follow up with that, actually, because I know there would be some young people who would find this, of course, this podcast or Clickcast, and they would be thinking about a career in photography. So, based on your response earlier, it looks like it's not gonna be a good choice to focus, or is that, or am I jumping into conclusion? Is there actually a future in being a professional photographer?
Okay, so if you watch my channel, if you watch my videos, you know I'm very honest, very down to earth, and I will say it exactly as it is. Personally, if you want to get into photography to make money, unless you have an actual specific subject, you're going to struggle. I think there's that many people out there now, and you all got phones. Everybody probably watching has got a phone. You can pick up a phone and you can take a photograph. Yeah. Landscape photographers, I'm even harder about, because anyone can stand there and take a photograph of a landscape. So it's really hard to make money out of that. So unless you're established, unless you've got a way into, a doorway and entry, so a gallery, a studio, or something you can enter with, just going onto YouTube is difficult. I mean, I've been doing it nearly 7 years on YouTube, and I'm not making anything from YouTube. Now, I know other people have. I don't know what the angle is, how that happens, how you make it happen. If you've got a good business head, maybe you can try different things that way. But initially, and being honest, I would say it is an extremely difficult thing to get into, to make money with just, with taking photographs, especially now, because you've got AI as well creeping in. Yeah. Over the last couple of years, AI has got better and better, and you don't even have to take a photograph now. I can talk to the computer, ask it what I want, and it will develop an image for me. So I would say anyone young and watching, it's going to be really difficult. So good luck to you. And yeah, definitely.
Just on that point, Mark, that's maybe a good thing. I mean, clearly what you've done now is school photography. If you knew what you know now,
oh yeah,
what would you have? How would you think you would? Do you think you'd have made it, or have you learnt anything that you could maybe have thought about that would have actually, allowed you to pursue that documentary photography wise?
Yeah. Well, it would have. So you just you should take every opportunity that you get given. Not think like I was a bit cocky. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I was just a bit cocky back then, because I had a whole year of students around me in my photography group, and it was me that was getting the exhibitions, and it was me that was winning the prize. And I'd left uni with this big head and big cockiness, and that gets you nowhere. You just got to be clever and bright and get yourself in the right places, and and the other thing is, I had no money. Like I just literally had no money, so I had to earn money. I had to just do all sorts of, I had to earn money because I lived alone. I lived in a flat, and I paid the rent, and you've got to.
I get the impression that with a lot of artists, if you've got money behind you, you've got more of a fair chance.
Yeah, it's the same with actors. Yeah, same with actors. If you notice, I mean, there's been loads of studies. There's all out there. But for instance, you look at actors, you look at artists. You've got your Tracy Emmys. Don't get me wrong. Actually, when you think about it, the real famous artists and the good ones are the ones that fought their way up from these sort of working class areas. But the general, if you in a percentage, most of them have come from backgrounds that are wealthy, should we say? yeah, actors are the
I
same.
remember, I remember someone saying that to me ages ago, when I had my career break for 8 years, and I was doing street photography, like you say, just going out shooting. And I remember someone saying to me, she came from an art background, and she said to me, if you don't have the money to back it up, it's very difficult to accomplish what you want to accomplish with
Yeah.
your art.
Yeah, that's right,
So,
because no one pays you any money. No one knows who you are. And I think that's another thing, that no one knows who you are. And you've got to understand that, right? That no one gives a shit about you or your work. And it's your job to make them do that. They're not going to come to you. And I think that when I left uni, I mean, maybe I was like 25 at the time, or whatever I was, 24, even younger than it, whatever. But in my head, I'm thinking they're going to come to me. You know, who's going to come to me? All I've got to do is put it out there. They're going to come to me. It obviously never happened, and it doesn't happen. You know, you've got to go out and continually
Pound the streets,
pound the streets. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to really do it. I mean, and actually, I learned that when I started this company. So by the time I started this company, I'd had a career in teaching, where teaching taught me a lot. It taught me how to be professional. Yeah.
So when you say teaching, I thought this is photography education you were providing.
This is teaching. Like I went to in 2002. So I left in 2000 in uni and was mucking about doing my bit or whatever. Started to do some teaching in 2002.
Okay.
And that was in a college, yeah. So like to students. And then I got a job in a school. And that's basically I had a career as a teacher, as a school teacher, sixth form.
Oh wow.
And college and all that, and I did that for 12, 13 years full time. And that's what I mean. That's when I sort of like fell into teaching, but it ended up that I was actually quite good at it, you know, like even like, so I was promoted very quickly, and you know, getting pay rise because they didn't want me to leave and whatever else. And it was like, oh, all right, this is good, you know, and I did really enjoy it. It's a really enjoyable experience. I mean, it's like, you know, teaching is great. It's like teaching kids and teaching adults, and it's a real good feeling. So I cracked on with that, you know, and you know, I did well.
Yeah, that's definitely one of these or no moments, as we say in Scotland. Yeah, Jan, what about you?
Well, I've got a lot of funny things to share, but one of the things that happened was I was in the Isle of Harris, so I was in Luskenthar beach and photographing the formation. Like there was rain out on the side. There was then a huge rainbow and all the stuff, and there were people that was actually in the beach. And one of them, as I was taking photos and on their direction, because I thought, oh, it's good to have the people on the background. And this person started running towards me. And one thing that I didn't realize as he was coming towards me, one thing I didn't realize was he was actually completely naked. So
really? Wow.
he was completely naked. And I was like I was taking a burst photo because, as you guys know me, I'm the queen of handheld photography. I don't use very tripods. I hate tripods. But so I was taking this photo, and this guy was just running towards me, and I was taking photo, and Scott was laughing his head off, and I said, "Why?" And then I look back I said, "What are you doing, laughing?" And then look back into the viewfinder to take photos again, and all I could see was the guy's dangly bits actually getting really close up on my lens, and I was like, "Oh, that was."
There's a few jokes coming off. I can feel, but I can't see them.
And I just sort of said, "Oh, that's interesting," and he did say, "Oh, did you take some photos?" I said, "Yeah, I did, but it wasn't what I intended to take." and and
We're all
and
bursting to say next question.
huh?
Did you get them all in? The person?
Yeah, I
No,
just I
that's
have the.
brilliant.
So now I've got this series of photo of someone running naked in Loscantar Beach.
That's the best one so far.
Well, hi everyone. As Paul mentioned, K&F Concept reached out to Paul to use one of his products in some videos in his woodland photography. For those of you that don't know what this is, it's a black diffusion filter. It's a quarter of a stop, which helps soften off the images in the woodland scene, and it kind of creates maybe like an ethereal look. It comes in a handy case if you want to keep the case in your camera bag. It just unscrews it like that. It's got a nice little protective cover in the inside. I'll just take it out. This particular one's a 77mm thread. You'll not see much on camera, but it just softens off. Sometimes, you know, in a tree, it can be quite harsh depending on the conditions, and this just softens it off. This is a 77mm thread, but they do come in alternative thread diameters to put into your lens you want to use it. Hi everyone, yesterday we were on our street photography meet-up with the Edinburgh Photography Group, and it was with Emmanuel Senti, and it was very good because Emmanuel told us about a new gallery that opened in High Street, 6 High Street, just up from Dean Village. So we went there afterwards, didn't we,
Yeah.
Gladys? Yeah. And what did we see? Who did we meet
We
again?
saw a lady called Alison Johansson, and she did some amazing photos that I bought some postcards from her. And this was like a Christmas window display, Wonderland, that someone done that she'd taken. And this is one of her street photos, and I just love them because they're all based in Edinburgh, like locations that I know.
Yeah, and I had a good little chat with her, and we told her all about the Clipcast discussion channel, what we've got going on, and she said, oh, that'd be interesting, and she actually contacted us and is keen to come on the channel in the very near future. So yeah, you'll be seeing Alison Johnson, and she's from Glasgow, so it'll be interesting to see what Alison can bring to us and share with you viewers.
She's documented some old buildings, like the big tower block buildings, one of the few that still exist in Glasgow, which are going to be knocked down. So she's documented all inside, so it's going to be interesting to see what those photos are going to look down, because there's historical photos that those buildings may not exist in a few years' time. The gallery itself is wonderful. It's got loads of collection of photography books, all different genres.
It's fairly new as well, isn't it?
It's fairly new.
It's fairly new, and they do exhibitions.
They do exhibitions as well, and they're doing workshops as well. And the whole point was to basically make photography more integral.
Yeah, and available.
More available to everyone.
Are you still here? Well done for making it this far to the video. Thank you for watching Clickcast, guys, and especially this Christmas special. It's quite emotional for me because this is the last one I'll do. I will be back in some capacity on YouTube, but you will see my videos on the Woodland Photography channel, which is just generally me going out, talking a lot of crap and taking pictures. If you like that kind of thing, then head over to my channel. Yeah, and also, of course, more importantly, Brian and Gladys now are putting a lot of work into this new channel they're going to do, and I'm sure they're going to carry it forward to better things in the future, interviewing new exciting photographers, people. But that's the future, and bye-bye from Clickcast and bye-bye from Paul. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Welcome to tonight's Clickcast. Get comfortable, kick off your shoes, Our broadcast journey, we're here to amuse. Watch this week's our broadcast delight. Dive into discussions, photography insight. Welcome to tonight's Clickcast. Welcome to tonight's Clickcast.